कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. I think last time we discussed till the 16th shloka. Am I correct? We'll begin the 16th shloka. दृढव्रतः सत्यसन्धो
दृढव्रता सत्यसन्धो
ब्रह्मण्यो वृद्धसेवकः
ब्रह्मण्यो वृतसेवकः
शरण्यः सर्वभूतानां
क्षणस् शरण्यः सर्वभूतानां
मानदो दीनवत्सलः.
मानदो दीनवत्सलः. The king will firmly determined and always situated in truth. He will be a lover of Brahminical culture and will render all service to all men and give shelter to all surrendered souls. Giving respect to all, he will always be merciful to the poor and innocent.
दृढव्रत सत्यसन्धो ब्रह्मण्यो वृद्धसेवकः शरण्यः सर्वभूतानां मानदो दीनवत्सलः. Dridhabrata, he will be fixed in his vows. Satyasandha, Satyasandha, true to his promise. Brahmanya, respectful to the Brahmanas. Respectful to the Brahmanas and the elders. Vriddha Sevakaha. Vriddha Sevakaha, he will be serving the elderly people. Sharanya Sarvabhutana. That is a protector of all beings, or whoever surrenders to him, he will give offer proper protection. Manadaha Deenavatsalaha, giving respect to all beings. Manam dadati manadaha. Manam dadati iti manadaha. Deenavatsalaha, kind to the suffering. In one place, it's explained that Prthu Maharaj, in his determination, when he will take a sankalpa, nobody will be able to shake his sankalpa, just like nobody can move Mount Meru. That is how he will be determined in his sankalpa. Bhartrihari in the Nidhi Shataka, he talks about three levels of determination. Prarabhyate na kalu vigna bhayena nichaha. The lowest level of determination, somebody who does not start a good activity, fearing the obstacles which may come. And then the Madhyama level of determination is somebody who starts the good activity, and then when the obstacles come, he stops it. The Prarabdham Uttama Guna, but somebody who is having the Uttama, highest level of determination, despite the repeated obstacles which may come, he never stops that endeavor. So, Dridhavrataha, Satyasandha, he will be always situated in the truth. Not only in the relative truths of this world, but also he will be situated in the Param Satya. Satya is one of the names of Krishna. Satyavratam, Satyaparam, Trisatyam. Satyasya Satyam, Nihitam cha Satye. Satyasya satyam ritasatya netram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannaha. So in the Garbhastuti, the Devatas are glorifying Krishna by using the word Satya repeatedly. He will be situated in the truth. He will be situated in devotional service to Krishna, and he will be situated in the principles of truthfulness. He will not cheat. The earth will tolerate so many people except a cheater. And Brahmanyo Vriddha Sevaka. He is the lover of the Brahminical culture, and he will render all service to the old men. So this is an important principle in the Chanakya Niti. Chanakya explains about the importance of serving the elders. So Chanakya, he says that, he says, what is the practical understanding of humility? So we say Tanadapi Sunichena, Tharvarupasa Vishwana, Manina Manadena, Kirtani Sadahari. One of the important shloka in the Shikshashtakam. But the practical understanding of humility is that because what is mentioned in the shloka, Trinadapi Sunichena, is a very tall principle. But how do we practically apply humility is that basically serve the elders. Vriddha Sevaka. One should serve the spiritual master, elderly Vaishnavas, or anybody, one even learned Vaishnava, may not be elderly. Elderly parents, elderly relatives. Serving the elders by age and more importantly, spiritually, those who are elders, those who learned the Shastra. Considering oneself to be a servant of them, that is the practical understanding of humility. I am the servant of the Vaishnava. I am the servant of the Guru. So this is the very important principle. Therefore, Chanakya Pandit says that Vinayasya Moolam Vriddhopaseva. The cornerstone of humility is the personal dedicated service of the elderly learned souls. Vriddha Upaseva. So Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj says that humility means what? Humility means I am the slave of a Vaishnava. That is the practical understanding of humility. I am the servant of the Vaishnava. Vriddha Sevaya Vijnana. By dedicated service to the elderly people, one acquires a Vijnanam, means practical knowledge and realization. Not just theoretical knowledge, practical wisdom to apply that knowledge. Vijnanena Atmanam Sampadayet. By such a knowledge of Vijnana, one should make oneself fully realized and eligible. Atmanam Sampadayet. Sampadita Jitatma Bhavati, Jitatma Sarvartai Samyujjayet. A realized person can never can conquer the Atma. And such a self-realized soul can acquire all the goals of life. Sarvartai Samyujjayet. But the root of all this is actually serving the elders. Serving the elders. So, Brahmanyo Vriddha Sevakaha. It's a very important principle. And Manadaha, he was giving respect to all. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaharihi. Giving respect to all. So that's also important thing. So the Radhanath Maharaj would say that when we expect respect from others, we will definitely be miserable at some point in time. Because everyone will not give us respect all the time. Somebody will not respect us according to our expectation. So therefore, when we expect respect, we will definitely be miserable. But in giving respect, we can be happy in all situations because giving respect it is in our own hand, not in somebody else's hand. It is in our own control. To the extent we are leading our life by giving our life to somebody else's control, we'll be miserable. So, to the extent we are leading our life, to a large extent having our own control over our life. And like, for example, giving respect is in our own hand. So, in giving respect, we can be happy in all circumstances. Dina Vatsalaha, he was kind to the fallen people. Next shloka. Matrubhakti parastrishu
मातृभक्ति परस्त्रीषु
patnya patnyamardaivatmanah
पत्न्याम् अर्ध इवात्मनः
prajasu pitruvat snigdah
प्रजासु पितृवत् स्निग्धः
kinkaro brahmavadinam.
किंकरो ब्रह्मवादिनाम्. Translation: The king will respect all women as if they were his own mother, and he will treat his own wife as the other half of his body. He will be just like an affectionate father to his citizens, and he will treat himself as the most obedient servant of the devotees, who always preach the glories of the Lord.
So all these verses are like what should be the qualities of a leader. Matru Bhakti, he will treat other men as his mother. Parastrishu Matru Bhakti. Patnyam Ardha Iva Atmanaha. For his own wife, he would consider as if she were half of his body. Prajasu Pitruvat Snigdha, affection like a father for the citizens. Kinkaro Brahmavadinam, a servant of the followers of the Vedas. So Prabhupada quotes a very famous shloka of the Chanakya Pandit. Matruvat paradareshu paradravyeshu noshtravat atmavat sarvabhuteshu yapashyati sa panditah. One who considers other women apart from one's wife to be the mother. One who considers others' wealth to be like a stone. One who respects all living entities like one would want himself to be respected. Such a person is called as a Pandita. So, in the Vedic culture, there is a system of training to see the women as the mother, apart from the wife. In fact, even in the Bhagavatam, when the Devahuti got married to Kardama Muni, and Swayambhu Manu was taking leave of his daughter. So at that time, there is a verse. Swayambhu Manu addresses his daughter as Amba. Amba means mother. Although Devahuti just got married, he has not given birth to any children. But Swayambhu Manu is addressing her as the mother, although she's the daughter actually. Because the primary role of a woman is actually mother. And the role of a mother can be performed by a woman throughout her life. So therefore, that role actually one will be satisfied in that role. And that, because moreover, especially in this shloka, what is being emphasized is that especially how a man should train to see the other women as the mother. That is the quality which is emphasized here. He will treat other women as his mother. So that means that shows that the level of respect he is giving. And then Patnyam Ardha Iva Atmanah. He would also give proper respect to his wife. It means he would consider the wife as the Ardhangini, not simply a wife as some tool or object for some gratification, but he would give proper respect to the wife as if she is her own other half. Prajasu Pitruvat Snigdha. This point is also Prabhupada comments on this. That Prabhupada says that a king is supposed to see everyone born in his kingdom as his praja. So praja, literally it means that praja means it comes from the root word jani pradurbhavi. That is the root verb. From that praja word comes. Prakrishtena jayate. That means anybody who is born in the kingdom is called as a praja. So it refers to all living entities in the kingdom. So that is, and you would see that praja as you would see them from the position of a father. And then Kinkaro Brahmavadina. So Brahmavadina, Prabhupada in the purport, he says that Brahmavadinam refers to the devotees. So Brahma refers to absolute truth, or Brahma can refer to the Vedas. So Brahmavadinam, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Brahmavadinam means those who are learned in the Veda. Or if we take the Brahma refers to absolute truth, that means Brahmavadi can refer to devotees of the Lord. It can refer to the impersonalists who are devoted to the impersonal Brahman. Or it can refer to the yogis who are devoted to Paramatma. Can refer to any of these. Because Brahma in general refers to absolute truth. Can refer to any of this. So, devotees are the highest in the transcendentalists. But even impersonalists who are devoted to the impersonal absolute truth, they are also considered on a very high pedestal. In the Rishabhadev's teaching 5.6.2, Rishabhadev says that Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes Tamodwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangha. By serving the Mahatmas, Mahatma, the doors of liberation get opened. And Jiva Goswami and Srila Prabhupada, they say that there are two kinds of Mahatmas. One is Savisheshavadi and Nirvisheshavadi. Impersonalists and the devotees. So even the impersonalists are considered in the category of Mahatma. Because they are strict followers of the Veda. Kinkaro Brahmavadina. This is the one. So because King Prthu exhibited these qualities, so therefore it's highly praised. Next shloka. Dehinam atmavat preshtah
Dehinam atmavat prestah
suhrudam nandi vardhanah
shuhrudam nandivardhanah
mukta sanga prasangoyam
muktasanga prasangoyam
dandapanirasadushu.
dandapanirasadushu. Translation. The king will consider all embodied living entities as dear as his own self, and he will always be increasing the pleasures of his friends. He will intimately associate with liberated persons, and he will be a chastising hand to all impious persons.
So, Dehinam Atmavad Preshta. Dehinan means any embodied living entity. He will consider all beings as himself. Atmavad Preshta. This is what Chanakya Pandit that shloka. Matruvat Paradareshu Paradravyeshu Loshtravat Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu Yap Pashitis the Pandita. He will consider all beings as himself. That means he will give respect to them. Suhrudam Nandi Vardhana. He will increase the joy for his friends. And again, Mukta Sangha Prasangoyam. Mukta Sangha means liberated. Prasanga means intimate association. He will intimately associate with the advanced liberated people. Mukta Sangha Prasangoyam. Dandapani Rasadushu will punish the wicked. So here, so Prabhupada says there are 84 lakh species, but all of these were treated by the king in the same way he would treat himself. In the current this one, the current executive heads do not treat all living entities as their own self. Many of them are meat eaters, or they may not be meat eaters, but they pose themselves to be very religious and pious. And they allow the cow slaughter to happen. So king was always associating with the liberated people, Mukta Sangha Prasanga. So why that association helps? Because generally, when a person in such a position as a king or executive head, they have so much of power under their control. So there is every chance of getting intoxicated by such a power. There is every chance of getting distracted. So, but when a king associates with the saintly people, who are genuinely saintly, who are genuinely renounced from this world and attached to Krishna, then that helps the king, the executive head, to rule the kingdom in the proper spirit of Nishkama Karma Yoga. So just like, for example, we have, suppose somebody is teaching as a professor in a college. They go for continuing education. When the professors, recently was interacting with one, I think professor or lecturer in a college. And that Mataji said that how she went to attend the continuation education program in some IIT. So even those who aren't, say, somebody is in education line, he should equip himself, he should update himself with the latest trends in education. He should also keep himself also, he should update his knowledge. Somebody is a doctor, he should also keep updating his knowledge. So similarly, if somebody is in a power, he should regularly keep himself associating with the sadhus or the Vaishnavas. Mukta Sangha Prasanga is very important. They will punish the impious people. Next shloka. Ayam tu sakshat bhagavamstradisha
Ayam tu shakshat Bhagavan Sri Adishah
कूटस्थ आत्मा कलयावतीर्णः
कूटस्थ आत्मा कलयावतीर्णः
यस्मिन्न विद्या रचितं निरर्थकम्
यस्मिन् अविद्या रचितं निरार्थकम्
पश्यन्ति नानात्वमपि प्रतीतम्
पश्यन्ति नानात्वम् अपि प्रतीतम्. The king is the master of three worlds, and he is directly empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is without change, and he is an incarnation of Supreme known as Shakti-Avesha Avtara. Being a liberated soul and completely learned, he sees all material varieties as meaningless because their basic principles is nescience.
So this is a Ayam tu Sakshat Bhagavam's Pradisha. In fact, by the description of this one particular quality, everything is included. That is Sakshat Bhagavan. He is directly the Bhagavan. So when it is mentioned that he is directly Bhagavan, the master of the three worlds, and Bhagavan is the source of unlimited auspicious qualities. So then all the qualities which are mentioned, which are not mentioned, they are all included. He is directly the Bhagavan who is Tradisha, Kutastha, Atma. So three words are there. Tradisha, master the three words. Kutastha, unchanging. Atma, that means the Paramatma. Kalaya avatirnaha. He has descended as a portion of Bhagavan. Kalaya. He has appeared as the portion of the Lord. And then Yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam pashyanti nanatvam api pratitam. So Prthu Maharaj will see that the different varieties in this world is meaningless. So all the variety in this world are created by ignorance, avidya rachitam, and they are nirartakam, they are meaningless. That means Prthu Maharaj is not attracted by the different varieties manifested by the avidya in this world. There are so many varieties of things. Varieties of, say, movies, varieties of dresses, varieties of holiday spots, varieties of eatables. So many things are there. So generally people are actually enamored or attracted by the different variegatedness of the material world. Yeah, the variegatedness of the material world is real, but they are all temporary. So avidya rachitam nirartakam, you would consider the variety created by ignorance as meaningless, insubstantial, like a dream. So Prabhupada says that all the qualities are summarized in the word Sakshat Bhagavan. So the Prithu was also empowered in such a way that he could display the six opulences of the Bhagavan in full. Kutastha without change. So Kutastha means without change. There are two kinds of living entities, Nitya Mukta, Nitya Baddha. So Nitya Baddha living entities, they keep changing their bodies. But Nitya Mukta living entities, they never forget their position as a servant to the Supreme Lord. So Prithu Maharaj is a living entity. Shaktyavesh avatar of the Supreme Lord.
विश्वासोनैव जायते शरीरावित जडेन्द्रियकलिकान् you.
So Prthu Maharaj is a living entity who is empowered by the Lord with the ruling potency. So Nitya Mukta never forgets one's position as the eternal servant of the Lord. So such a Nitya Mukta living entity represents the super soul as its expansion. So and sees the material world with a different vision. So Nitya Baddha living entities, they see the material varieties as being actually different from one another. So the material varieties are like the different outer forms of the dress. But a liberated person, he sees the spiritual unity among the material variety. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Shunichaiva Shvapakeche Pandita Swadarshina. So, being a Sakshavesh avatar, empowered by the Supreme Lord, Prithu Maharaj did not change his spiritual position, but consequently, there was no possibility of his viewing the material world as a reality. Next shloka. Ayam bhuvo mandalamodayadrehe.
Ayam bhuvo mandalam Ayam bhuvo mandalamodayadre
Goptaika viro naradevanatah.
Goptaikaviro naradevanatha
Asthaya jaitram ratamatta chapah.
Asthya chaitram ratamata
Pariyasyate dakshinato yatharkah.
Paryashyate dakshinato yatharkaha. Translation. This king, being uniquely powerful and heroic, will have no competitor. He will travel around the globe on his victorious chariot, holding his invincible bow in his hand and appearing exactly like the sun, which rotates in its own orbit from the south.
So ayam bhuvah mandalam Vodayadrehe Gopta Eka Veerah Naradevanatha. So the most heroic protector, Eka Veera, Goptaika Veeraha, most heroic protector. So Vodaya Adrehe, being situated on his victory chariot with a bow in hand, Artha Chapaha, he will circumambulate the whole earth. Dakshinato, clockwise, from the sunrise mountain, starting with the sunrise mountain, like the sun, just like the sun is actually moving in the clockwise direction. Prithu Maharaj, he would travel on his chariot with a bow in hand. He will circumambulate the whole earth clockwise, extending up to the Sumeru sunrise, extending up to the sunrise mountain. So here, one point Prabhupada says that, say, according to the modern science, they say that sun is stationary, sun does not move. But when we read the shloka, the analogy is given, Prithu Maharaj will travel in his chariot just like the sun travels. That means this is a proof that sun is not stationary, sun is traveling. Brahma Samhita also says that Yasyangyaya Brahmati Samvritakala Chakro. Yasya Agyaya Brahmati. Brahmati means movement. Under the order of Krishna, the sun is actually revolving in this world. The sun is not fixed in place. So Prthu Maharaj, as far as Prthu Maharaj is concerned, that his ruling power would extend all over the world. So the sun initially rises on top of the Himalaya mountain. Sunrise is first seen there. So they are called as Udayachala or Udayadri. So here it said that Prthu Maharaj's rule would cover even the Himalaya mountain and extend to the borders of all oceans and seas. That means, in other words, his reign would cover the entire planet. Just imagine the extent of his, what kind of a king he must have been. Entire planet was ruled by entire Bhumandala. And another word used is Naradeva. So the king should be understood to be God in human form. He is a representative of Bhagavan. On behalf of Bhagavan, he is giving protections. Therefore, he is called as a Naradeva. So even when Sanatan Goswami, when he took a sick leave, he was not actually sick, but he was just became too tired with all those responsibilities under the Muslim king. He just wanted to retire from that, and then he wanted to stay at home and just dedicate his full time in Bhagavata Dharma, Sankirtan, Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. So he did not return to his office for many days. So then Nawab Hussain Shah, to find out the actual status of Sanatan Goswami firsthand, he personally came to his house. And there Sanatan Goswami, in a perfectly healthy condition, he was sitting in the house discussing Bhagavatam along with other Brahmanas, other Vaishnavas. There also Prabhupada says that how the Bhagavatam should be studied by different devotees coming together, like that Prabhupada is saying. So then, when Sanatan Goswami saw the Nawab Hussain Shah, he immediately got up and paid respects. Although he was a Muslim king, but he is a Naradeva. He is in the position of a king, therefore Sanatan Goswami showed respect. The Prthu Maharaj was also respected like a Naradeva. Next shloka. Asmai nripala kila tatra tatra
अस्मै नृपाला किल तत्र तत्र
balim harishyanti salokapalaha
बलिं हरिष्यन्ति सलोकपालाः
mamsyanta yesham striya adirajam
मांस्यन्त येषां स्त्रिय आदिराजम्
chakrayudam tadyasha uddarantyah.
चक्रायुधं तद् अस्य उदरन्त्यः. When the king travels all over the world, other kings, as well as the demigods, will offer him all kinds of presentations. Their queens will also consider him the original king, who carries in his hands the emblems of club and disc, and will sing of his fame, for he will be as reputable as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So further this says that Asmai nripala kila tatra tatra. Wherever the previous verse talked about how Prithu Maharaj would travel all over the earth in a chariot. So everywhere he would travel, nripalaha, that means the kings of this world, salokapalaha, along with the devatas, along with the lokapalas, balim harishyanti, they will offer tribute to Prithu Maharaj. They'll offer tribute to the Prthu Maharaj. And Prthu Maharaj, Devatas will offer tribute, Balim Harishyanti. And Striyaha refers to the wives of the heavenly planets, are the wives of the Devatas. What they would do, Tad Yasha Uddarantyah Mamsyanta Yesham Striya Adi Rajam Chakrayudam Tad Yasha Uddarantyah. They would glorify his fame and Marishyanta Yesham Adirajam Chakrayudam. Understanding that Prithu Maharaj is the Adi Raja, the first king. That Prithu Maharaj, along with the Chakrayudam, is the first king. So we can see Prithu Maharaj really exalted influence, what influence he had over even the Lokapalas. So as far as reputation is concerned, Prithu Maharaj is already described as Sakshat Bhagavan. Now in this shloka, the Adi Raja is the original king. Actually, the original king is only not Narayana. But people don't know that Narayana is the protector of all living entities. Nityo Nityanam, Chetana Chetananam, Eko Bahunam Yo Vedadati Kama. So the king, or Naradeva, is his representative. So therefore, he is also called as Adi Raja. His duty is to personally supervise the distribution of wealth for the maintenance of all living entities. So suppose if he does that, he will be as reputable as the Narayana. So Prithu Maharaj was carrying along with him the reputation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he was actually reigning over the world in that capacity. Next shloka. Ayam mahim gam duduhedi rajah.
Ayam mahingam dudhe tiraja. Ayam mahingam duduhe dirajah.
Prajapatir vrittikara prajanam.
Prajapatir vrittikara prajanam.
Yo lila yadrin swasharasa kotya.
Yo leelayadrin swasarasakotya.
Abindan samam gamakarodyatendraha.
Abhindan samam gam akarodayetendraha. Translation. This king, this protector of the citizens, is an extraordinary king and is equal to the Prajapati demigods. For the living facility of all citizens, he will milk the earth which is like a cow. Not only that, but he will level the surface of the earth with the pointed ends of his bow, breaking all the hills exactly as King Indra. The heavenly king breaks mountains with his powerful thunderbolt.
So starting from this shloka, they are mentioning some of the future activities which Prithu Maharaj would perform. So in this shloka, Ayam mahim gam duduhe adirajah prajapatir vrittikara prajana. I think the Adiraja refers to Indra, I think. Adiraja, Prabhupada translates as extraordinary king. So Indra, the word is in the last line. Yata Indraha. Yata Indraha, that is the analogy. Just like Indra, what did Indra do? Leelaya Adrin Swa Sharasa Kotya. Third line. Adri means mountain. Leelaya means easily. Swa Sharasa Kotya. Just like Indra easily broke the mountains. Bindan easily broke the mountains with Swa Sharasa Kotiya, with the tip of his bow. And then after breaking the mountains easily, what did King Indra do? He leveled the earth. Gam Samam Akarot. Just like Indra broke the mountains with the tip of his bow and leveled the earth, similarly, Prthu Maharaj, Prthu Maharaj, who is called as a Adhiraja Prajapati. Adhiraja means the king of all kings. Prajapati, the master of the citizens. Vrittikara, the provider of maintenance. So similarly, this Prthu Maharaj, who is Adhiraja, Prajapati and Vrittikara, what did he do? Mahim Gam Duduhe, he milked the earth as a cow. He milked the earth as a cow. So in this shloka, it is just mentioned in one shloka, but this particular episode will be described in chapter, I think, 17 and 18, next two chapters. How Prithu Maharaj milked the earth. What are the circumstances? So, but in this shloka, it is just mentioned in one line. So, see, in the previous shloka, it was mentioned that the wives of the Devatas, they glorified the fame of Prithu Maharaj. Mamsyanta Yesham Striya Adi Raja. So, how did the wives glorify Prithu Maharaj? That is described in 4 shlokas. 22, 23, 24 and 25. So just as Indra broke the mountains with the tip of his bow, Prithu would milk the earth. Gam duduhe, milking the earth. We milk the cow, but how can you milk the earth? So this will be explained in the next chapter. So last shloka. Vispurjayan ajagavam danusvayam.
Vispurjayana jagavam danu swayam.
Yada charat kshmam avishayyamajau.
Yada charakshamam avisayamajau.
Tada nililyur dishya santo.
Tada niliyur dishidishya santo.
Langula mudyamya yatha mrigendraha.
Nangulam mayayata mrigendraha. Translation. When the lion travels in the forest with its tail turned upward, all menial animals hide themselves. Similarly, when King Pruthu will travel all over his kingdom and vibrates the string of his bow, which is made of the horns of goats and bulls and is irresistible in battle, all demoniac rogues and thieves will hide themselves in all directions.
So when Prithu Maharaj traveled the earth, during the battle, twanging his irresistible bow. Danu is the bow. Vispurjayan. Vispurjayan means vibrating. His bow was made of the horns of the goats and bulls. Ajagavam. So Kshmam Acharat. Yada Kshmam Acharat. When he would travel in the earth, vibrating his bow, which is Avishakyam, irresistible, during the battle, Ajav. His bow is made of the Aja Gavam, made of the cow and the goat horn. Tada, at that time, Asantaha Dishi Nililyuhu. Asantaha means the criminals, the demoniac men. Dishi Dishi, they will hide themselves in different directions. So an analogy is given. Langula Mudyamya Yata Mrigendra. So Prthu Maharaj traveling over the earth is compared to Prthu Maharaj traveling the earth, vibrating his bow. That is compared to Mrigendra, that is lion. Lion moving in the forest with a raised tail. Langula Mudyamya Mrigendra. Langulam is the tail. Just like the lion travels with a raised tail. Similarly, Prthu Maharaj would travel throughout the earth with his vibrating his bow. And by seeing that, Asantaka, demoniac people, they will go and hide out of fear of Prthu. Therefore, Prabhupada says important that the Kshatriya kings in India, they are called as Singh. Singh comes from basically they are like lion, courageous like a lion, which means lion. So unless the rogues, thieves and other demoniac people in a state are afraid of the executive head, very important, who rules the kingdom with a strong hand, there cannot be peace or prosperity in the state. So thus it is most regrettable when a woman becomes the executive head instead of a lion-like king. Prabhupada is not speaking against the women, but what he is saying is that this quality, which is expected from a king, that cannot be properly exhibited by the person in the women body. Because they will not get the confidence that the women will punish the criminals. Because we have a history during the emergency, Indira Gandhi had a, but she used the power in a negative way, curbed everyone's freedom. But generally, women cannot exhibit such kind of courageousness. They cannot instill such kind of fear in the criminals. So we see that the people, the criminals should become fearful of the king. That means the king should award such kind of punishment that nobody would dare to commit the same mistake again in the kingdom. So without such a courageous king, there cannot be peace or prosperity in the state. Therefore, the Kshatriya's role, a strong government becomes very important. Further, we will see next class. Probably next class we'll complete this chapter. Another 3-4 shlokas are Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Anybody wants to share anything?
Prabhuji, so it's the subtle body of the women which doesn't allow, right? To execute certain types of responsibilities, right? We
Yeah.
understand like that, right?
Correct. Gross body also, it's soft by nature, that's compassionate by nature. Gross body also, like, and also the subtle body, the disposition. But also the gross.
Prabhuji, also there were, Rani Lakshmi Bai and Ahilya Bai Holkar, they were good women, not queens, but...
Such exceptions are there.
Okay.
Yeah. Jhansi Rani, Rani Lakshmi Bai.
Like
During
Draupadi.
emergency, during emergency as an apat dharma, there were many women who assumed the role of protector, and then they performed those roles. But as a common system, general system, it's not suited for them. Exceptions cannot be made into system.
Exceptions cannot be made into?
Yes, general system, I'm saying.
Okay.
Rani Lakshmi Bai, Jhansi Rani.
So when they speak about this equality of women and all, so
everybody,
uh,
man's body, women's body, both have a strength and weakness. So it's not something about being superior or inferior. It's about both are two different vehicles, and both have a certain strength and weakness. Understanding that, we operate those vehicles. It's like there is some car is there, the lorry is there. Both are vehicles. Both are meant for traveling. But both have their certain strength and weakness. Understanding that, we operate those vehicles. Similarly, the man's body, women's body.
like Draupadi forgave this Kripa, no, the Guru's wife. Like,
Ashwatthama.
yeah. She forgave. Like, otherwise, if a male would never forgive. But Draupadi asked that she should be spared.
Draupadi is a very good example of feminine qualities and masculine qualities. Both were present. We talk about Kunti also, Draupadi also. There are some psychologists, they talk about masculine qualities and feminine qualities. Masculine qualities means being courageous, outspoken, being courageous, determined. Like that, these are masculine qualities. Feminine qualities are like forgiving, soft-spoken. Like there are a list of feminine qualities. So when you study the character of Queen Kunti, Draupadi, they were such personalities. They also had masculine qualities and feminine qualities. Draupadi inspired Yudhishthira Maharaj to fight with courage. Kunti also inspired Yudhishthira Maharaj to fight with great courage. As a Kshatrani, she exhibited those masculine qualities. At the same time, they also exhibited the feminine qualities, Vaishnava qualities of forgiving. So both were there. So balanced. At appropriate time, they exhibited those qualities. Okay. Here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.
Prabhuji, Kunti Maharani's father's name